Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? We'll get a little repair right there as I make the picture for the thumbnail. Look at.
Let's see if I can get this working properly here. Hopefully the audio is better now. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Let's paint this vehicle. Just when I think I get this stuff figured out, it gets harder. So, here we go. I am cleaning it with the greaser. Wipe on, wipe off, making sure that I clean that plastic. Why? Because it's important. We want to make sure that we get all that stuff cleaned out. Make sure the car's clean. Now, here's a tip I tell you guys almost every single time that I show you videos. Make sure the car's clean when it comes in the booth, plain and simple. Why? Because we want to make sure that we get the cleanest paint job possible. And the best way to do that is to make sure you have a clean car in the shop. Clean car in the shop, clean car in body stall, clean car in the paint department will make a huge difference. I'm telling you. If the car is dirty, then you're probably going to have a dirty paint job. And that's what you're trying to avoid here. Clean, clean, clean. It's so important. I cannot stress that enough. Super important. I'm telling you. I still don't like the way I'm sounding, but we're going to have to do with this. I'm sorry if the audio's all out of whack. I guess I need to learn a little more about that. So, PPSW. This is a color from Tesla, obviously, but I found an amazing match. And looking through my phone here, just a second. I am using W for the ground code. I'm using WA9753. That's what I'm using for the ground code, okay? This has worked out so beautiful for me. It's incredibly easy to blend. It makes this painting this car in this color very consistent, and it makes it very, very, very simple. A lot easier than trying to find something else, okay? Ground code, Chevrolet, WA9753. And for the mid code, I am using Hyundai W8 for the mid code, and that's prime. Both colors are prime. So the 9753 prime, this is using PPG and Envirobase. That's what I use in this shop. And the Hyundai also prime W8. Obviously the mid code, not the ground code. But just wanted to share that with you. That's what has worked for me. And it's done very good. I love it. It's a great match. The ground code blends in beautifully with the rest of the car. So I just cleaned it with water cleaner. And one thing to note is you want to make sure that you're also cleaning the paper, okay, and the plastic. And also another thing to note is you see that flapping plastic at the bottom? Make sure you tape that down so that you don't end up with plastic marks on the freshly painted part. What else can I say? Yeah, so with the same rag, with the same microfiber cloth, I am blowing it and tacking it. I've been doing this for a really long time now, and I swear by this process. It makes a huge difference to keep things simple, and also to make sure that you're picking everything up. As you know, microfiber cloths are very absorbent. So I actually use one microfiber cloth per week, unless it's a very, very busy week. I'll use two. But you can chuck these in the washing machine and wash them with detergent and just rinse them really, really, really well and hang dry. Now, obviously, I am just going through it with my hand because I want to feel anything if it's there. If there's something there that's going to screw up my paint job, I want to feel it. And you can feel most stuff with gloves.
27 psi. 27 psi. Go a little farther.
FPV8. I use this gun solely for wet bed and works amazing. Wet bed is T490 reduced 2-to-1 I do. So it's like it's just like I don't know how to explain what a wet bed is. But it's basically clear base.
Okay, so the way that I'm spraying this is I am making sure that I'm getting a thin, completely covered layer on top of everything. I utilize wet bed when I need to, how do I say it, minimize the risk of base overspray, because what I want to do is I want to try to keep this color as controlled as possible. So if there's any overspray that lands on top of the wet bed there, it'll melt right in, making it a whole lot easier. But as you can tell, check out that ground coat. The ground coat pretty much disappeared, and that's amazing. That's why I love using this this variant that I mentioned earlier. So that's it for the wet bed. We're good to go. So now we'll put the second coat of base, and that's all it's gonna need really for the ground coat. So 2 coats of ground coat is all this is gonna need. So watch the way I'm spraying. I'm trying to keep this on the lower side of that body line, so I'm trying not to go over that body line, and I'm even angling my gun a little bit to the downside of things, because I want to control this and I want to keep this underneath that body line in the middle of the vehicle.
So I had a pretty big base nib here, and these cars have to be almost perfect. So I used, because it's white, I used the 600. Okay? And I just knocked it down, and I'm just going to put a little bit of base on it. Just like that. We'll let that flash, and then we're going to put 2 coats of pearl.
Right now I got the same gun that I was using for the ground coat. It's my HPE base. Welcome HPE base 1.3. Seriously, hands down, my favorite gun. My favorite spray gun, my favorite base gun. Just loving it. You see my angling of the gun there, a little rainbow action there for keeping the pearl contained. I'm gonna let this flash off, and I'll come back for a second coat, and then we'll be done.
That's what you want to see when you do a tri-coat. When you choose the right variant, when you choose the right color, then you're able to not have to put so much mid coat on, because the color is already blended. So you technically just have to put a couple coats and you're done. So it's already blended out beautifully. So I'm basically gonna just do a control coat over it. At 20 psi. So I saw a little piece of lint that I'm going to take out. Beauty.
Okay, so I'm using EC520. This is my favorite clear for sides. I love it. So sorry for all the audio. Audio's terrible. I don't know what's happening today, but you are getting what you're getting. I'm not gonna wrestle with it today. I want to get this video out, and hopefully it helps someone, because that's the whole purpose of this. So hopefully it helps someone at least learn what not to do. EC520, regular hardener, regular temp reducer, and I put on 2 pretty much heavy coats. I put them on almost the way that I want them to look. That wet bed that we applied helps so much because we are able to put clear coat on like a beautiful substrate. I'm not sure how else to explain that, but EC520, 2 coats, I barely give it a flash. It's not a long flash at all. I've been spraying this clear coat since it came out, and what I find works best is like, you know, a minute flash maybe, and then I hammer on another coat. Now, I'm a short guy, so you might be thinking, why didn't I walk these 2 doors, right? And the way that I see it is everybody does it differently. I don't believe there's a right and wrong way. The best way is the way that gives you the best results for yourself, for your environment, for your product. So that's just my opinion though. But that's why I do panel per panel, because I have a way that I can control it better. I know where I let go of the trigger. I know that my stance, I know how fast I was going. If I'm walking it, sometimes I tend to go up and down, and then I remove the consistency, right? That's why I try to be as much as of a robot as I can. And like I said, quick flash off, maybe a minute, I'm not too sure. But I don't do more than 3 minutes flash off for EC520 because it will die back on you. And this far, I've been loving the EC520. Quick flash like that, right? Second coat, I'm going a little bit slower, just a little bit slower. But you see I'm releasing the trigger past the line, right? Past the line there, so I don't get a lot of buildup on there. And a little bit slower. And I will be baking this for 20 minutes at 120. White is always hard to spray and clear coat, so I'm always, you know, a little bit paranoid that I'm gonna, you know, get something there. As you can tell, I started off the panel. That's something that a lot of you guys and girls might know. Start off the panel. It's gonna be huge. And then obviously I am finishing right there on the right before I hit the edge of that door. You see? Boom. Okay? Very important. Right? Before I hit it, I don't go over to the other door because then we'll have a big build-up, right? I let go. Right? I let go. And that's kind of the way that I've been spraying, and it works really well for me. So that's it. I got a little video of it finished up. So now I'm gonna slide it into the bake oven and bake it for 20 minutes for 120. But I mean, the blends turned out great. The wet bed made the clear shine beautifully, and we're all done with it. So boys and girls, I'm so thankful you're here. I really am. Thank you so much. I mean, I make these videos to help painters all over the world. That is my mission, to help painters all over the world. That's why I push the Welcome guns as much as I can, the blowers, because I know that they're tools that are going to help you. They're going to help you.
And there you have it. Looking good. A few spots to polish, as usual. As usual. Keyword, as usual. Okay? And now, this looks better than the rest of the car. And we like that around here. Love it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give a thumbs up, like it, and love it. See ya.